everyone. Good Friday morning, afternoon. Lord Jesus, is already that kind of day. I am Sheila King. I am the owner of a 501c3 nonprofit organization called Eliminating Excuses. And today I have the Michelle J. Miller Esquire on the line. I am so excited, y'all. I'm gonna try not to smile the entire time. But Michelle, can you please tell the people who you are and
First
what
of
you do?
all, thank you for having me on. Listen, I'm excited. I have not been, I don't think I've done a live myself or been on a
You
live
haven't. You haven't.
probably in about 9 months. So
Yeah.
this is so timely doing this as we end the year because Facebook kicked me off for some reason, like in February.
You had a
So
whole lot of Facebook
I had all
issues.
kind of craziness going on. So this is so great because this is being on a day, and of course, you being one of my favorite people, is really like ushering. It's like a crossover. Everybody's talking about the crossover. So this
Yes.
live is like a crossover for me to cross back into jumping on live in 2023. So I'm
Yes.
excited. So I don't really like talking about myself much. So here's the 2 seconds. Hey, I'm Michelle J. Miller. I'm the owner of the Billionaires Law Firm. I help people to protect their businesses and their brands. And then I also do a lot in the area of ministry. We're helping kingdom people understanding how to honor and respect the brilliant ideas that we get from God and to stop stealing from each other and learn how to be unique and distinctive. That's it in a nutshell. I can
Period.
probably go
Listen.
on and on, but if I have to give you like the 30-second overview
Yes.
of who I am, that's what I would do. And it's so interesting because I've been traveling a lot this year speaking,
Yes.
and people will say, okay, well, give me a bio. What do you want me to say? I'm like, just say, here comes Michelle J. Miller. Like, and people
That,
don't really think that I be like that for real. I said, I promise you, when I'm in the green room or people asking me what they want to say, or if someone's reading my bio, I'd be like, Harpo, who this woman?
right. Listen, first of all, so y'all, I need y'all to understand that I've known Michelle for it's about to be 8 years, Michelle.
Yes.
And it seems like we've known each other forever.
Never.
Um so if this
Forever.
conversation is a little off and on, y'all just understand there's relationship here.
Yes.
so so we might be non-traditional. So
And
we
that's how
have an
I
event,
roll anyway.
period. Because why do we need to? Okay. So January 8th, Michelle will be here with the other two dynamic speakers and myself talking about law, positioning yourself. I'm so excited here in Houston. So what I love the most about Michelle is she's so straightforward. And if she can't do it, she won't say she's gonna do it. But I promise y'all, if it don't sound right, I promise Michelle gonna let you know. Um, so where did you
True.
get that from? Where did that come from? Why? So what I want to know first, Michelle, is when it comes to one of the things that we've had many of conversations about is people waiting till they get to a certain point to try to protect themselves. Now, we're not going to give away too much on this live. We're just trying to give them some snippets, but um a lot of times people wait until, let's say, I form my LLC, or let me make sure I make this amount of money before I even consider protecting my brand. What do you say to that?
So first of all, I have to say it's a lot of people lying to each other. Okay, first I want to say that. Why do I say that? Because you have people that's sharing misinformation based on what they
Yes.
heard and not what they know. So every week I'm
Correct.
on the phone having consultation calls with people who someone told them they were supposed to be doing ABC, and I'm like, how are people trying to give you direction on something they've never studied, don't have experience in, and if you check their records, they haven't even gotten done themselves, right?
That part.
And so
Yeah.
laying down that foundation, one of the things that I've learned, and I say this all the time, that even though a lot of us are embracing the opportunities of social media, there are many people that are still operating on a pre-social media mindset.
Mm.
And so the
Okay.
pre-social media mindset is exactly what you were mentioning. I'm going to start a legitimate business. Most people it's a LLC in my state and then I'm good. Well, pre-social media, you probably was good because you did not have probably the funds, the capacity, or the connections to
Yeah.
reach people across straight lines.
Yeah.
So, because you had limited access and limited exposure, the likelihood that someone can see your company name or your brand name and steal it was
Yes.
limited because you weren't gonna do anything but we talk about people who are selling books out their cars. They're trying to go
Yes.
to the various little meetings in their community or their city to reach
Mm-hmm.
contacts, but the likelihood that their business reach was going to reach beyond, say, their city and suburbs and into another state, it was lacking big time
Yes.
pre
Yes.
social media. So
Yeah.
I would say probably 10, 12 years ago when I was in the corporate world, only companies that were large enough to reach customers across state lines worried about trademarks. They didn't
Yeah.
have the opportunity to do that. So what happens is, as we all know, social media has changed the game tremendously for most people. And so for someone to think or to coach and tell someone to start an LLC and then go start posting on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and
Yes.
Snapchat, and you want this post to go viral. Some of us are only one post away, one reel away
Correct.
from reaching
Yeah.
thousands of people. Now you have more reach, but you have more exposure. And so
Yes.
when you're in a situation like that, now you have people in different states, sometimes different countries, that have access to your brand. Guess what?
Yes.
You don't have an LLC in those states. You
Yes.
don't have the LLC in those countries. You have no protection whatsoever. So think about it like this. If you had somebody from every state besides where you stay that got on one live, just one, and decided that you had a bomb brand, each one of those persons can start an LLC in their state and duplicate you. And it's nothing you can do because you don't own the brand. You just got a trademark. I mean, you just got a trade
And
name or a
yeah.
business name. And so what happens is there are a lot of people that still not really getting it when it comes to this. And so as I've been out speaking, and I've been many places this year that the country opened back up, really trying to educate people on this because people really are surprised
Yes.
that having a business is not helping them protect their brand. And so I'm telling
Correct.
people all the time, I was like, I can't even go in your state. This is the thing, Sheila, that people don't get. I was
Talk
like,
about it.
I can come in your state right now and start
Yeah.
a business in my name right now and build a brand with your business name in your state, and ain't nothing you can do about it because you don't own the name. You just got a
Ooh.
business. And people
Wait a
like, what
minute.
you mean? I was like, I mean what I said, and I said what I mean, and I can absolutely do that. Who gonna stop me, boo?
That part.
Not
Oh
you,
my
because you
God.
own your stuff. And so that's why, I've become, since I've started being in my private practice and doing more ministry work, of just this passion of helping people build the brands, the content. They are the people that get to make the money. And so
Okay.
every month
Okay.
I'm talking to somebody, they shocked. This is what we say. I say this too because it gravitates to people, but it's only for marketing purposes. Because I'm gonna be real. So people
Yes.
be like, "Oh my God, somebody stole my brand," and I'll, because that's how people think. I'll say that.
Fact.
But the truth is, no, you let somebody steal your brand because you didn't handle your business.
Okay.
You
So
invited the thief to come in. And now you're like, oh my God, somebody stole what was mine. How about, oh my
see,
God, I didn't have enough common sense to keep my stuff?
so okay, Michelle, you hitting hard to start. Okay, so I remember a conversation that we had, and it was talking about people where, oh, I don't know if we can talk about that. Hold on. Wait, let me Wait,
We
let
may
me
want to say we
rewind.
may want to say that for Texas.
That part, because because I think a lot of times people do think that. So okay, here's another one, because I think this would be better, where
Okay.
somebody says, well, I think it was in a clubhouse room, where someone was like, well, what if I don't make it, or what if this brand doesn't take off, and your response was like, so you're planning to fail, like, so you're basically planning as if you're not going to succeed. So we're going to do this for fun.
Right.
So, but help, because I think a lot of people, and this is one of the things that I want to drive with every conversation that I have leading up to January 8th, because a lot of people are not established. A lot of people are still trying to get their ducks in a row, trying to figure it out. And it's like, if you have an idea, you can sit with people who are skilled in helping you birth that idea, and then putting the strategies in place beforehand. Don't wait until you get there and then say, "Oh, I wish I had gone to that event in Houston where Sheila talked about every element of starting and maintaining and developing this business." So, but I want you to talk a little bit about that mindset, like getting to that place where you step outside of that mindset and prepare yourself for success. We are preparing for failure all the time, but why aren't we out here preparing ourselves for success?
Yeah, I don't even understand the mindset that people have that I am going to put energy and effort in something that I don't have an expectation that I'll excel in. Like what are you doing? Why are you starting something off with a mindset that you are not about to make something that's going to produce money? I mean, I it's so hard for me to comprehend. It's like your foundation is failure. It's
Oh,
failure. It's so important. The Word of God talks about building on a strong foundation. When I hear people say that, I said, well, you're building a foundation of fear and failure. How do you expect to have financial success with that type of foundation? And
ooh,
when I tell you this, because I've had disagreements with attorneys. Let me just break it down, because not all attorneys do the same thing, right? So
correct.
I have done business and law, for many years, and
Mm-hmm.
there are some attorneys, we all have different skill set that are all just business. And so when you're just business and you don't do intellectual property, which is trademark is a part of,
Right.
you don't know how these two things interrelate.
Correct.
So if you're just doing business, you're going to tell a person, hey, your focus needs to be start your business, make sure everything is
Yeah.
legit, all
Yeah.
these different things. You're not even telling them about the intellectual property piece,
Yeah.
right? And so there are some people who coach individuals, allegedly, who offer them all kind of out of accountability services, allegedly, and don't bring the right people in their path like you are. And you are trying to tell people what to do and you don't know what you're talking about. And so my thing is, and I say this to people I talk to, I was like, if your mindset is, I do not want to move forward and doing the things I need to do, you have a failure mindset, and I can't be your attorney because we're going to bump heads.
Yeah.
Because our conversations are going to be out of agreement, right? How can,
Makes sense.
sometimes when people say, how can two walk together except they agree? They only think about it within the concept of relationships.
Relationship.
No, we
Mm-hmm.
have to think about more than like male female relationships, but our relationships with the people that we allow in our circle. And
Yes.
so we have to be in a situation where if your mindset is failure and lack, and my mindset is building wealth and growth and expansion, we think in two different ways. We're gonna
Facts.
have two different conversations, right?
Yes.
And so because of that, I do find people to say, oh, well, I don't have money to work with a lawyer yet. I remember I posted about this. I said, do you even know what the cost is?
Every single time,
Do
that's
you
the question
know?
I ask.
I'm like, do you even know? Have you even asked? Do you even know? I said, do you know how invaluable I do with this 15 minutes? Always end up being at least a half an hour. Best
Mm-hmm.
$100 most people have spent. I would say,
Yes.
especially this year, I've been talking to people about, and this is going back to your LLC point and building on a strong foundation. You started an LLC with a, you want to start an LLC with a business name, but you don't even know if it's owned as a trademark. You don't even know. And so
And you
now
didn't
you have
establish
to
the whole
start,
thing.
you didn't get all this broken down. You didn't establish this LLC. You think you the bomb.com. You don't know you're using somebody else's brand. What some people will do, they will lay in wait
Oh,
and watch you build and watch you expand and watch you grow and then hit you with a cease and desist, hit you
wow.
with a lawsuit, right? And then the issue become, and I'm talking about this in this book I'm finishing up. When you have a federal trademark, you have what's called constructive notice, which means if you go on a trademark office website or not, if you hire a lawyer or not, by law, because it exists, by law, you know that it exists. So you are knowingly
Wow.
engaging in illegal activity.
Wow.
Whether you do your due diligence and seek legal counsel or not. And so I find people, well, I've had to say, I do like a trademark search service just so you can at least know what's out there before you
Right.
start building your business. I've had several people this year that were so thankful that they just got that service
Yeah.
because I'm like, you would have started, get this, Sheila, you would have started an LLC and be engaged in trademark infringement at the same time.
And that's the thing that I don't think we understand as consumers, as business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever the term that is being used at this point.
Right.
Because the issue is we don't know that. We think because we secured this LLC, we got our business, not knowing that somebody, I didn't even think about that piece even when I started my business. It was like, hey, I'm legit. I'm good. Look, I wish you would. You get all proud and stuff. I wish you would come and try to take my name. Meanwhile, there's a whole nother organization, a whole nother business established in California that's completely set up, has been doing this for years, and
Then got
you
a
think you're
trademark.
and got a trademark, and you sitting there, then spent your 750, 250, depending on what state you're in, whatever the cost. You've gotten your branding, you got your logo, you didn't talk to everybody, your launch date and everything. And you're doing all of this without knowing that you have pretty much set yourself up and wasted all that money because now you got to rebrand yourself.
Or you have to try to enter into some type of settlement negotiations to try to move forward. And when I tell people that's what happened with Clubhouse, they were shocked.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you may remember me sharing about
Yes.
that on Instagram. I don't even think I was on. I was kicked off of Facebook at that time. But yeah, Clubhouse had a $4 billion valuation and had been around for years. And when I saw that they were being sued by a West Coast company that had a trademark for Clubhouse, I was thinking, who on the Clubhouse team dropped the ball?
That part.
Who needed to know Michelle J. Miller? Because I would have been the one at the table, like, hold on. Before you
Yeah.
launch this app, before you start, doing all these different things and reaching the masses, we better find out if someone owns the trademark for Clubhouse.
Mm.
They did not do that. And the company that had a trademark for Clubhouse, it was a networking type of company for people in the sports industry. So it was very
Mm.
similar. And I knew that they were going to try to settle that and come up with some negotiation. One, because it was going to cost a whole lot of money. And of course, the settlement was never disclosed, just the fact that it was
It was
settled.
one. Yeah.
But to try to take that to a lawsuit would have been a very foolish decision. To
Mm-hmm.
try to think you were going to win that against someone who had a registered trademark and it had been there for years, and how it wasn't exactly the same, which isn't the measure of legal requirement anyway, but it was really close. So we don't
Mm.
know how much they had to settle for. More likely than not, and again, I don't have the legal paperwork, but there's also a high possibility that the owners of the company that own Clubhouse because their company name is not Clubhouse. I'll explain that in Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, the name of the company is not Clubhouse. So the company that owns Clubhouse had to enter into some type of not just legal settlement, but there's a possibility that they had to enter into a licensing agreement.
Yes, that's so they that
Yeah, they might have had to into a licensing agreement
to be
and
able to still use it.
to still
Is
use it. And so there's two sides to protecting your brand. One is the side of protecting it so you can make sure you're getting your own customers and clients. The other side is you may have something that's so great that somebody else want to use. You license it and now you're making money that way. So that's the way that you monetize your trademark. A major way to monetizing your trademark and brand ownership, but beyond your own business, is licensing deals.
y'all need to get in the room in Houston. I'm not because this is so many different legs to this and arms to this. It's so crazy. And again, a lot of us, even those of us that coach people, and I tell people all the time, like I'm connected to amazing people. I don't, this is
And
my
you
lane.
are.
Like
Amazing people are connected to amazing
facts,
people. What?
facts. And what I think about though is I let people know I'm forthcoming in saying, hey, you need to discuss this because we didn't even tap into the whole element of different classes and protecting one versus the other and all of this other stuff. And again, we can go into detail on that in next Sunday. But I think the biggest part is not really knowing what protection looks like. Like, how do I know when I'm protected? And I think that is the challenge because a lot of coaches are telling people, just like you said, go get your LLC. Once you get that solidified, get this. And they're more focused on branding and marketing than they are protection.
And let me tell you this, the thorn in my side as an attorney that deals with business and brand protection is that, and if there's someone on here that or that's going to be in Texas and this is your wheelhouse, let me help you identify an opportunity of expansion that is like the thorn of the side of many attorneys. When you're doing trademark protection, there are legal protocols and that's in place in what's acceptable on your website content or your flyers or your marketing that will allow you to get federal approval. And so a lot of times when people are doing this branding and marketing, they have no idea of what we're doing on the legal side. When I tell you we are using people websites, we're you make to make legal arguments, y'all, some of y'all don't even know how much of y'all stuff is coming up in legal memos. Y'all don't even know. It's
Wow.
public information. I can go on and make an argument for my client. It's public information. I'm pulling whoever information I think that will align with the laws I'm reliant on, and I'm putting catch this. I'm putting content from different things on my website that help me with my legal argument because as an attorney, I can do that. So that's
Wow.
one side. The second side is you have people that's trying to put all these pretty graphics together, but then when it comes time to do the legal review so you can protect and own it, it's out of order. I mean,
Mm.
it's way out of order. So, one of the things that I would love to see for someone that's in this industry, because what's great at what you're doing is like bringing people together that can help people have a holistic
Yes.
kind of view of what they need to start to win in business and life,
Yes.
right? And so what happens is I have to tell people that I'm working with as clients, you need to talk to your graphic designer because your brand name is on one page, your services on another page, how I get your
Mm.
product to someplace else. I can't take a federal attorney on a fishing expedition because you got your stuff all over the place, and then you don't want to listen and put the stuff together, and we got federal deadlines, and then you want to know why you spending more money because you don't listen and you don't have the
Mm.
right people with you. And so it's so important to be in rooms like you're creating to start off the year, because I'm telling you, people will be at an advantage jumping into 2023 than a lot of people have going through the entire year, because they are not in the right rooms getting the right information so they can get the right pathway of how to do things in a way where the things that they are confessing that they want, they're actually taking action to do that. And then the other thing I wanted to also mention is, we talk about this, it costs you more to fix a problem than it does to do it the right the
To
first
start it
time.
right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Listen.
mean, big
Okay.
time.
Last thing. Last thing. The the part where we talk about people taking our thoughts and ideas, because we just post in this realm of social media, we're posting all of our intellectual property, we're just going out and throwing all of this stuff, and some people think, just like back in the day, you said, I remember this conversation from years ago where people go and they mail themselves something and and think they're protected because that was old school. We're mailing ourselves stuff, and that shows
People still
it's
think that works.
oh, still today.
Yes.
Oh,
I had a conversation with someone about this in a consultation call last month.
oh, can you briefly tell what I'm talking about, what that whole concept means, and then why that is not the best way, and then we'll get off.
Okay, so what you're referring to is quote unquote known as the mailbox rule. And so what people are trying to do is create a legal so what the misinformation release for years was, if you go to the post office and mail yourself what you produce, then you are protected. So, for example, if I have a book, if I mail myself the manuscript, the postage stamp date provides me legal protection. If, and I didn't know people do this with trademarks too, right? So, if I have a brand that I use and I have a flyer for my event, I am going to mail myself a flyer, right? Or a postcard, and then that post date stamp becomes what they think is legal evidence of you using the brand. And I'm just like, well, who lied to you? Because that's not in anybody's law. Because you like, explain to see, it's not law.
That
There's no
part.
law that say that that works. No law whatsoever has not been, is not, and
Will
probably
never
never
be.
will be a law that says that that meets any kind of legal requirement. I'm like, you
Including
just wasted gas money, you wasted your time, and
and
you
that
wasted the
postage.
stamps, and you wasted the time of the person who had to sort through the mail and bring it to your house.
Wait, what about the TM too? Because people putting TM on their stuff and never going through the legal
Never
process of
starting anything.
never starting anything, but they're forever using TM on their stuff and
And so
not.
I and so it's interesting because I was telling someone with the TM symbol, which technically, let's talk about the technically a TM symbol, which means trademark, is saying
I
I
started the
am
process.
proclaiming that I own the trademark for this brand. That's what it's saying. What people don't realize is it's very limited. It's your ownership right is under what's called common law,
Mm,
pre federal regulation of a particular topic,
okay.
pre what we go through with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So that means I only have rights in a geographic area.
Mm,
Same thing with your LLC, going back to the pre social media mindset. I have a business. The principal place of business on my records is Houston, Texas. Right?
mm-hmm.
Let's just talk about just the LLC,
Right.
Houston, Texas. My business name and my brand name are the same. Doesn't always have to be. I'll talk about that when I come to Texas. Don't have to be the same, but they can be. But let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about it being the same. Then you put that TM symbol on there. That's pretty much protecting you in the area of Houston only.
Gotcha.
Oftentimes, by case law, they'll say, okay, well, you'll probably get some people in the suburbs of Houston, but that's it. You don't even get the whole state. And
Mm.
so when I look at that and I talk to people on the flip side, I always say, well, if you don't have a trademark application in, at the minimum, what you've done is notify people that you have an unregistered brand, and it's free for them to go ahead and start a business in their state and get the trademark. And the only thing that they can't have is your little bitty area in Houston where you have your business. Thank you for notifying me of your current status and letting me know that I can take your brand over. You've done some of my homework for me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
this the I promise this the last. I lied. This the last one because I you
But
were
that's what
talking
I tell
about.
my clients. That's what I tell people, things like that in consultation. Because people are like, oh my God, I saw somebody use a trademark symbol, blah, blah, blah. I was like, pump your brakes.
Right.
I'm a strategist. Let's talk about what this means, what it looks like. Do they own it? If they own it, what's
Right.
the parameter of their rights?
Yeah.
So I'm a realist, and you said from the beginning, I'm pretty straightforward.
Yes.
So my perspective and being a strategist that always come up as one of my strong characteristics. You know, when you do like dish training and
Yes.
Meyer Biggs, Michelle's top three is always she's a strategist. It's how I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so my perspective is this. Okay, well, you in Houston, Texas, and somebody come with your unprotected brand, with your TM symbol that you think you the bomb.com with, and then
Uh-huh.
somebody go to your event and they do a legal consultation with me. I'm like, go ahead and get them, Houston. We'll take the rest of the country.
And I want to close out on this part before you tell them how to find you, because one of the things when Clubhouse came out, and I keep saying them because I remember all the different education you was providing there as well, and they had so many, and I've turned off the notifications for them, so I don't know if they're still doing it, but there are so many people that go in there talking about pitch us your idea, pitch us your idea, and people out people are out here taking folks' ideas on purpose. Like it's not even a joke anymore. People are literally asking you to pitch them your idea so that they can go and take it and utilize it. And trademark, they probably won't even do nothing with it, but they're gonna keep you from doing it. But address that real quick and
So
then we can go.
I have to tell you this. So I used to be in some of those rooms the only lawyer that do intellectual property, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay, and going in and everybody talking and sharing ideas, then they get to me. And I want to be like, you big dummies. I didn't say it though, but that's what I was
Thank
thinking.
you, Michelle, for that.
That's what I was thinking. And in some of those rooms I didn't get re-invited to speak because of the perspective that I shared, right?
Of course.
And so my thing is stop being so thirsty.
Mm,
Stop being so gung ho for opportunity that you end up not owning anything.
mm.
Like when we look at like the major breakdowns, as you know, I'm working more and more with people in entertainment and media and
Right.
things like that, right? And when you think of some of these deals, some of these situations, it all boils down to who owns what. And
Yes.
so sometimes someone can pitch to someone an idea. You want the investments, you want what to help with the distributions, but you
Yeah.
don't own everything that goes along with it. And I'll just say real quick, I'll use Ye as a quick example because I talked about this on
You
Instagram,
did.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The rapper formerly known as Kanye West. Now we ain't gonna talk about him as a person or his antics. We're gonna stay on task and
Stay
just talk
focused.
about this
Stay.
one thing. We're gonna stay focused.
Uh-huh.
So when everything went down with him and Adidas, one is I did a post and I said, hey, he may have 99 problems, but owning his brand names isn't one.
Hmm.
Okay. And so in saying this, I'm like, I'm not his lawyer. I'm not a lawyer for Adidas. So I'm only gonna dig so far because they're not paying me. But I'm gonna
That
use
part.
it as an educational point. I was like, who owned the designs? We don't know. I said I didn't research it because I got my own work to do.
That part.
But what I want the general audience, and Instagram is a good place to follow me because I share those type of details on that
Mm-hmm.
platform. I said, but when you're dealing with like clothing designs, shoe designs, you got two type of trademark areas that you have to deal with. And so I was saying he owned the brand, but who owns the designs? Great deal. And I said, so that's going to be the glitch. One, the contract piece, because a lot of people don't think about contract,
Yes.
brand protection, monitoring, licensing, like the whole big scope of things.
Yes.
And so I'm like, I don't know what's in the contract, but I promise you there's something going on with the licensing. Then a couple of weeks later, here come the Shade Room posting about how um how they own the designs, right? They own the
Mm-hmm.
design. And so I was like, hey, nothing new here.
That part.
I was like, nothing new here. And the reason why I'm saying nothing new here, because I told you all that the issue probably was the design piece.
Yes.
So now Adidas, like, we're gonna sell these designs, we just gonna take his name off. And so then the issue becomes, who are the people following? Are they following the brand
The
name
right.
or are they more the design? Now listen, I know some of y'all like to tussle. And I know
Not on here.
y'all like the Yeezy designs, but she ain't one.
She ain't
And
one.
so I just believe a lot of y'all bought that stuff because Ye released it.
That's because it ain't cute.
So I'm like, will there be people that will still buy from Adidas and designs? Yeah, there will be. There always is a group of people that will flow in that direction.
Yes.
But the reality is, if some of that stuff wasn't brand by Yeezy, y'all would have never bought it.
Of course not.
But the bigger issue is looking at the type of deals and partnerships and interactions you into and finding out what actually the situation is.
So y'all
So
that
not
are
a
doing
surprise.
so y'all that's out here doing clothing and shoes and all of this other stuff, you got a whole different level of protection that you need to make sure you under than the oh
especially if
Lord.
you're
Okay.
working with especially if you're working with somebody else, because people be all in their feelings when they have a clothing line that has a graphic
Yes.
and they pay the graphic designer for the graphic, and I'd be like, but do you own the copyright to that graphic? And they'd be like, I paid for it, and I'd be like, so?
That means nothing.
And they think I'm being funny, but I'm not. I'm just being honest.
And people need that because so many people have been paying for fluff. Okay, Michelle,
Yes,
tell them where to
yes.
go ahead.
No, I'm
You got
saying yes, and
okay,
we ain't doing that. 2023, no. Leave this fluff behind. Leave this drama
that part.
behind. Stop paying people that ain't helping you produce nothing. Cause
That part.
I know people that's paying really good money to people ain't helping them produce nothing at all because they got some pretty graphics and they know how to turn on the phone.
We're not even gonna go see that's a whole different conversation. So tell the people how to
Yeah,
reach you,
that's a Texas
Michelle.
conversation. That's a Houston,
That's a
Texas
tech. That's a
conversation.
tell them where to fit Instagram. Tell them where to find you on Instagram.
Yeah, so if you Google me, just do Michelle J. Miller. You can probably find me on every platform. But on Instagram, I'm Michelle J. Miller ESQ. Definitely connect with me over there. Listen, you can just go back and look at some of my old reels
It's a
and
whole
just
lot.
learn a lot. I mean, you can get a lot of information that I've already put out there,
Yes.
just on different topics, like we were talking about Clubhouse or different things that'll come up on media. For example, we're not talking about copyright, but I was interviewed about Beyonce's album release Renaissance when she had that issue with
Yes.
what's the woman name?
Girl, I don't
The
know your people.
milkshake. Kellis. I think Khalees. I always pronounce her name wrong.
Okay.
But whatever the case may be, Beyonce interpolated that song and she was having a whole fit because she wasn't getting no money. Anyway, I was
Oh, yeah.
interviewed by Bloomberg because that was all over social media with that song Energy. So go on Instagram. I do a quick overview about that, but you can do a search on Bloomberg and Beyonce album release. And I was interviewed about that. So it's a lot of information. The firm is the Billionaires Law Firm. You can learn more about me and the different things I do. And if you in the Texas area, just come to Houston
Get in
next
the room.
Sunday.
Just get in the room.
Just get in the room, and I'll leave with this, Sheila, because one thing was just confirmed for me this year when I was going different places and things like that. I think social media and doing everything online is great, but there is something about being in certain atmospheres and
Yes,
connecting
ma'am.
and interacting with certain people that will literally change your mindset, but it will also help you to connect with people in a new way. Because I'm
Yes.
telling you, I've made some really great connections with new people just because I jumped on a plane and was in the room.
Yes.
Or,
And
I got outside my comfort zone. Some
yes.
people want to sit in their house and want to know why they're not, experiencing new connections and enlargement and new clients, new customers. Listen, you got to put in the work, and you can't be one of those people that's complaining and having a fit about the results you didn't get by the work you didn't put
Work
in.
you didn't do.
That part.
And then we still didn't talk about umbrella because I saw the umbrella corporations, companies, and stuff on your Instagram as well. There are so many different dynamics. Like I told y'all, there's so many different dynamics. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's eliminating excuses underscore the brand, because they got a whole bunch of eliminating excuses out there. We
And they
are
eliminate none.
ain't eliminating not now. And we got an R. We are registered out here in these streets.
That part.
Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you again, Michelle, for the
Thanks
sacrifice
for
of
being
time.
in.
Y'all, please make sure y'all share this out. Let the people know. And if you know anybody in Houston, tell them to get their in the room. It's only $40. And then it's a $90 VIP session where you can have a one-on-one time, well, group
That's
time with
practically
us.
for the free.
It pretty much, because I keep trying
Yeah,
to tell the people.
it is literally for the FREE. $40.
E.
Some of y'all about to eat that up today.
They already ate it up, Michelle. Why they
Mhm.
eating it up while they watching this live?
Why they watching and still got to get dinner? And still got to get dinner and gas.
Listen, y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Happy New Year to everybody. Make sure to remember your response is your responsibility. We'll see you all later. Bye.